Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RedFlex. This is the Manchester United versus Real Sociedad preview. Manchester United lead 4-0 with 4 away goals against his team. It should be a mere formality, but is it going to be? That's what we're here to discuss. Harris, you are the resident press conference expert, and you've got all the lowdown on what's going on in the press conference. So you want to fill us in?
Yeah, so I think the main issue obviously was were we going to have the players back from injury, which would have maybe determined if there was the opportunity to rest. So I think all is confirmed. Cavani, Pogba, McTominay, they're all out. So, there's not many options, is there, that's left. So I think it will be a similar squad. He did get asked about Ahmad and Shola. He said that they're going to be in the squad, but he laughed and said, I'm not going to tell you whether they start. I think they will. I'd like to see them start.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be, if it was me, I'd probably give like 45 minutes to both rather than play both of them and kind of throw them under the bus, so to speak. Because if they both play and they both don't do well, then obviously you're struggling. But if you give like 45 minutes, 50 minutes to like Ahmad, he does all right, does a little bit here and there, comes off, But that's why I think. I think it's very unlikely both will play together.
Yeah, so I think the first half's obviously the key. The first goal, obviously, you don't want them getting an early goal because then everyone will be a bit nervous. Although, I think it'll be an absolute shock.
Cushion,
maybe the biggest shock in European history if they were to turn it around, pretty much, especially considering how we played in the first leg. He's got to play certain players. I think Donny's still out as well, obviously. That's confirmed. So, what is going to do?
I think it's more who shouldn't play rather than who should. So should we switch the question to who you think shouldn't play for sure?
David De Gea.
Mm-hmm.
Shaw, Lindelof, Fred, because I just don't like Fred. Rashford, Bruno. They're the ones for me shouldn't play, but I've got a feeling Bruno, Rashford will be. I've got a feeling Fred will be as well. So.
I don't mind Fred because obviously Fred's got a lot of energy, and the thing is their midfield is probably the strongest part of their team. So if they do get a hold of the game in the midfield, then we'll probably struggle. So I probably, in terms of like the pivot, I think it'll probably be a strong one. I feel it should be Matic for sure. Because of just for game time and rotation.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, you want to go through your team, so to speak, of what you think it should be?
Yeah, Dean Henderson, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly, Maguire obviously will play, although he should have a rest.
You reckon? I think there's a big potential for Tuanzebe and Bailly. But anyway, I'll let you do yours first, and I'll kind of go with mine.
I just can't see him being dropped again. So it'll be him. Tellez, I think will play. Matic, Fred, pivot.
Okay.
I can't see him put Mata in the middle. I'd love to see him put Mata in the middle. I think he'd do a good job, but I think it's going to be Bruno, Bruno. And then it's going to be, I think Ahmad will play on the left. I'm going to say no to Rashford. I don't think he's going to play or start anyway. I think he'll pop up either Greenwood up front or Rashford or Martial. And then I'm just debating whether we get to see Shola or James again. So I've got a feeling he'll rest James. I think he's now brought. I know Qasim will probably hate me for saying this, but he's now brought himself into contention to fight for that starting place on the right now. So
yeah, valid point.
I'll be very surprised if he plays as well. So I think the front three will be a combination of, to start with anyway, I think it'll be Ahmad, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, with Shola to come on in the second half.
Fair enough. I would, if it was me, I'd go with Henderson. Go with Brandon Williams. I'd probably go for Bailly, Tuanzebe and Tellez, just for the rotation purposes. I think, we're playing a lot of games week in, week out, so I want to see them freshened up. And obviously, like I said, now that we've got like injuries creeping in, if they don't have minutes under their belt, we're going to struggle. So these guys need minutes, not for more for the team, just as much as for themselves as well. Matic is definitely going to play 100%. I think. Did McTominay not play the last game? Was he have a niggle? Did he have
He's still
anything
injured.
last
Yeah,
game?
he didn't play. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
injured.
still injured. So yeah, it's going to have to be Matic and Fred.
Fred.
I don't see anyone else coming into
won't be
that
anyone else.
slot at all. I'd like to see Ahmad either on the left or the right, probably on the right, because going forward, that's going to be his position. I think it's going to be James. I do think it's going to be James, only because he's young enough and not played that many games for him to have burnout. So I think him playing a few games on the spin isn't really going to make a big difference. You know, he's got the form. These are the games that he can play. So why not? You know, I mean, he's probably going to be limited later on once people start coming back in. So why not just make the most of what you've got? If it was any other season and he was a first choice player, you'd be playing Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. So probably going to see James and Ahmad, probably Mata in the 10 for sure. I'd like to see, and it's going to be.
No, you think,
yeah,
or you like?
I'd like it to be, because I think the over reliance on Bruno, and then I think when Bruno does get tired, his performances do suffer.
Yeah, they
So
do.
with the big game against Chelsea coming up, I'd rather him not play any minutes at all. But I'm happy for Mata. You know, it's a Spanish team. He likes to play that, you know, technical sort of play. If David Silva can play in this game, why not Juan Mata? So Mata, the wings, we've still got the pace to hurt them like we did in the first game. So if we have to have James and Ahmad to bring that speed and creativity, because the thing is that it has to be Martial. It has to be. There's no other. Oh yeah, but I think it's going to be Martial just because he's so poor.
And he needs to get confidence
right now. So poor. Yeah. Just for confidence. Yeah, 100%. Just for confidence, has to be him, because if he's not going to get confidence in a game, that doesn't matter. You know, I mean, the pressure's off. You know, he can miss 5 chances. It doesn't really matter. He just needs to get in the positions. Greenwood is a sticky one for me, because I think that when he has come on, his form's been good. So it just depends on whether Ole will know from the selection tomorrow if Ole's going to play Greenwood or if he's going to play James. But now that you put that doubt in my mind, I've got a feeling that James is going to play against Chelsea now, because he's more of a defensive winger, and he puts the miles in going the other way, and obviously Chelsea's wing play is quite good. So yeah, you in that case probably will be Greenwood then, if James is being just for his work rate off the ball. So if he's going to play again, I agree with you. James is not going to play. So yeah, Greenwood, Ahmad, Martial, and Mata would be my preferred lineup in that case. Only not my preferred lineup, but I think that's what he will go for, just because Ole's going to go for that defensive winger option for sure. Yeah, going forward, obviously this game doesn't really affect things. Is there any way, do you think, that in any hemisphere, in any time that warp that you can think of, that we lose this game tomorrow?
I said first goal's key, isn't it? First 15 minutes to concede, then you don't know what's going to happen, isn't it? I mean, but then you still like to think they've got enough on the pitch to see them through, even then. So obviously they're going to have to go for it. I see Sociedad just sitting back. I can't see that scenario ever playing out, because it makes absolutely no sense. If you get beat 4-0, you get beat 7-0, what's the difference? You might as well just go for it. So that's why I think we've got pacey forwards anyway. So obviously, whichever combination it's going to be one of pace, isn't it? So I can't see it happening. I think it will be United who go through. Whether they win the match is a different matter, because I think this will be quite an open game. I don't think it's going to be a tight game, so could be high scoring. Obviously, I'll give you my score prediction in a sec, but it needs to be a good performance, because obviously Newcastle wasn't good, even though that was the so-called first team. It was rubbish against Newcastle, dire performance. Second half was better. Just be good just to get the fringe players some confidence. Put a bit of doubt in all his mind. Maybe they should play against on Sunday. Ask some questions. So yeah, looking forward to it. Just want to see how these guys perform. There's no pressure, so let's see what they can do.
Do you think we're going to see a performance though? Because when Man United don't have anything on the line, or when they don't take a game very seriously, we know that it's always a pathetic performance. Do you think it's going to happen?
The only reason why I think it'll be a little bit better is only because I think Sociedad will come out big time. That's the only reason why I think it will be, because they'll be forced to play in the kind. They'll be forced to kind of go for it. It's not going to be, it won't be whether they can happen to probe. It won't be that sort of game tomorrow, because Sociedad are not going to do that. You know, they didn't do it in the first leg. Even when it was 0-0 or 1-0 or 2-0, they didn't do it. So, you know, they're not going to do it. I think they're just going to think, right, first half an hour, let's get a goal or two. So, yeah.
Make it a bit respectable. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So that leads on to your score prediction, which you said you were going to make. So what have you got for me?
I'm going to go with 2-2.
2-2. Okay. I don't know myself, you know. I'm just trying to think now. I'm like, you know, if they do go for it all out and it's not our first choice team, there may be a bit of capitulation. But then again, depending on how we play on the break, it's I still think that we'll win the game, but I think it'll be 2-1. I think it'll be 2-1. Yeah, we catch them on the break. They might, you know, the pressure might tell for them, and they might get a goal or two, but I don't think that much. So I think it'd be 2-1. But yeah, bigger fish to fry, obviously, on the weekend. So that all eyes are really on that game. Not that we're writing this one off. We'd like to get the job done, score the early goal, probably kill the tie and kill their motivation and everything. So I think if United get to score in the first half, I think the game will pretty much be dead. You know, it'll break their hearts, break their spirits, and then we'll just take it from there and then roll on the challenge of Chelsea, which under Tuchel are putting together a string of results. You know, they broke down a very good Atletico team yesterday who are riding high, who are very notoriously difficult to break down.
I watched the highlights. You know, I think Atletico didn't show any ambition in that game. I think that's the reason why it was a 1-0.
Yeah.
But we've got a cracking record, against Tuchel in away games. Cracking record.
Yeah, so we've got,
I think he'll be more scared of us than we are going to be.
To be fair, we've beaten him when he's had better players, to be fair. But then again, this is he's now playing his preferred formation. Previously, he's been having to adapt. So there's a lot on the line, you know, new manager bounce, everything. But we'll discuss that in more detail in the Chelsea preview. So if you haven't already, please like the stream before you go. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And also we stream on multiple different platforms. We're on Periscope, which is soon to become integrated in Twitter as well. So please follow us on YouTube. Leave some comments below. And if you want to get involved, let us know as well. We're always looking for people to give their fan reactions. We have a global fan cam, so if you're watching from abroad especially, we'd love to hear your thoughts. But that's it for now, and we'll see you after tomorrow's game, where hopefully Manchester United win. So that was it. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.